So we are off for a little family morning out. We're up and out early on a Saturday. We are going to drive down to handmade beach because I had a little sign come through, which was something I'd thought about before. I wanted to make my own runes, but I wanted to make them out of wood. And that goes back to when I created my first drum. However, the other week I was at a fair and I met a couple of ladies that I know, and they were telling me how they had collected stones and they were making their own runes. So I was like, oh, it's come up again, the thought of it. Then my mum loves runes. I've given her a set before, but now she's also got a crystal set, and it's Mother's Day. It'll be a week tomorrow, in England at least. And I thought, what better gift than to make her a set of runes. So we are off this morning to go up to Herne Bay Beach. If you're from Kent, you'll know it well. It's quite grey out. It's quite cold. It's like 10 degrees up there. The girls are all wrapped up. So let's go. And just for reference, the lovely English weather I'm talking about. So we headed down the beach, and I'll be honest, it was freezing. So we were only there for about an hour, but it turned into such a lovely little moment because all of us were searching together for these different rocks and pebbles. That was till Edie ended up with the reddest little nose, and Jack had to take her back to the car. So maybe just a little note from me, if you're in England, it might be better to do this in the summer and make a bigger day of like collecting all your stones in one. So when you're choosing your stones, look for ones that feel quite flat, or at least have one flat edge. Maybe like 3 to 4 centimetres because it sits quite nicely in your hand. And before you start collecting, just have a little think about the paint colour you want to use. White works beautifully on most stones, but if you have a specific colour in mind, it can help you decide whether to pick like lighter or darker stones so it shows up properly. Then when we got home, I filled a bowl of warm water and washing up liquid, and I just used an old toothbrush to clean each stone. Then I left them to air dry. Overnight is best, but I did leave quite a good few hours and check them. You want them completely dry before you start painting or sealing them. And once they were ready, I chose the stones I felt drawn to, and then just lightly sketched the runes on with a pencil and left one blank. Then I painted over the guides using acrylic paint. I added a little water to help thin it out so it went on a little smoother. After painting, I just left them to fully dry again before sealing. Now, when it comes to sealing, I've learned a few lessons here. I'm not going to try and say it, but I used a clear spray, and it's in the video so you can see where it is, and I'll keep it in the notes below. But definitely make sure you've got good ventilation, or even better, just do it outside because these fumes are so strong. I did 3 light layers on the front, holding the can about 20 centimetres away and making sure that each layer dried fully before adding the next layer, otherwise it can get a bit sticky. Then I turned them over, repeated the same on the back and left them to dry again. And I didn't stay in the room while they dried because the smell really catches your throat. And honestly, I've made quite a few mistakes learning this process, but hopefully that means you don't have to. And just to say, I'm not a professional, this is just my own little handmade project. I love creating personal gifts like this, so if anyone has any tips, please do fire them my way. So I finished making the runes for my mum. Now this was my first time. Obviously you've just watched them all being made. I've popped them into this lovely shell I got from Portobello Market, 20 quid. Can't remember the name of the shop though. But they're all in here. I am going to set my intention to provide guidance for my mum. And basically the intention that I'm going to set for these stones is for these stones just to bring calm clarity and gentle guidance whenever they're needed. And then I am going to pop them on the windowsill overnight. And then I've got a lovely little pouch, which I haven't got on me right now, but I will show the pouch that I'm using to pop these all into before I give them to her next weekend. The runes have been on the windowsill all evening, just bathing in the moonlight. And actually, it's now become quite sunny today, so I may even just charge them under the sun a bit. But before I go and pop them back on the windowsill, I just thought I'd show you the little bag I got, and I just got this from Amazon. So I will be popping all the rooms in there with a little note.